Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News at 5 starts now.
Good evening. The polls are closing in New Hampshire, where voting was underway for the first primary in the nation. We do want to show you a live look at a polling place in New Hampshire tonight. You can see almost completely cleared out. At the stroke of midnight, voters began casting their ballots, kicking off the high-stakes competition to finding a Democratic candidate to challenge President Trump. Late polls show Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and former Mayor Pete Buttigieg locked in a fierce battle. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi is in Manchester, New Hampshire with more.
It's primary day in the northeastern state of New Hampshire. Voters making their way to designated polling stations, greeted by candidates hoping for a final chance to win their vote.
We're going to stay all day here to fight for every vote we have.
In New Hampshire tradition, the first ballots were cast shortly after midnight in 3 tiny northern towns. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar receiving early support from the handful of votes.
The midnight polls are any indication we're going to have a pretty good night tonight.
Former Mayor Pete Buttigieg also feeling optimistic that he can secure the top spot.
Feels fantastic. The volunteers are fired up and the energy on the ground is wonderful.
But recent polls show Bernie Sanders leading the Democratic pack. He's also hitting back at his rivals who say a Sanders nomination will hurt the Democratic Party.
I believe it's going to resonate all over this country. The people of the United States finally want a government that works for all of us.
And in a last-minute strategy change,
I'm not going to criticize Bernie. You know I haven't.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren now drawing clear distinctions between her and Sanders' campaign.
We voted, for example, in different ways on the trade deal.
Meanwhile, former Vice President Joe Biden is downplaying expectations and the weight of the New Hampshire primary.
This is just the beginning. We have an entire nation to vote yet.
And Joe Biden actually left early today, heading down to South Carolina, then Nevada, the 2 states holding the next Democratic primaries, both states considerably more diverse. This, as a new national poll shows Biden trailing Sanders for the first time. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Kern County residents will vote in March for the primary in California, and 2 measures pertain to the cannabis industry. Today, supporters for Measure D spoke about the importance of the measure.
Both measures are for the legalization of cannabis. This election is about who controls the industry. The people of Kern County, the mom and pop stores, your friends and your neighbors, or the big corporations.
Measure D looks at the regulation and taxation of medical marijuana dispensaries. A yes vote supports authorizing medical marijuana dispensaries operate without conditional use permit in the county and imposing a 3.75% business tax per every $1,000 of gross income. Meanwhile, Measure E would authorize medical marijuana dispensaries to operate with a conditional use permit in the county and would impose a 3.5% special business tax for every $1,000 of gross income. There's also a measure on the ballot concerning the Wasco Union High School District. A yes vote for Measure A supports authorizing the district to issue more than $38 million in bonds and requiring an average tax rate of $29.41 per $100,000 of assessed value. The funds would go toward improving Wasco Union High School, constructing a new gymnasium, and upgrading and rebuilding facilities to better serve students. An information meeting is set for tonight at 6 o'clock at the high school. And of course, 23 ABC will continue to provide you information so that you can make an informed decision on Super Tuesday. The California primary is set for March 3rd. We'll have all the information you need on candidates, propositions, and measures on our website, turn223.com.
23 ABC's Ag Report is sponsored by your local Kern Machinery.
It is arguably the biggest agriculture event in the world, and it has returned to Tulare. Today was day 1 of the World Ag Expo. It's the 53rd installment of the Farming and Ranching Showcase. Thousands of people making their way to the International Agri-Center in Tulare County. More than 100,000 people are expected to attend this year's 3-day event. The theme this year is focusing on ag. Hundreds and hundreds of exhibitors displayed the latest in farm equipment and technology. Free seminars focus on a variety of topics important to dairy producers, farmers, ranchers, and agribusiness professionals. Even some locals driving up the 99 to take part in the annual expo.
So for us, it brings in basically almost all the California customers that we have and some of our Arizona customers. So it allows us to be able to come to one location and reach out to over 1,000 customers that we have.
And 23 ABC's Bayon Wang spent the day at the Ag Expo. He joins us live from Tulare tonight, where he spoke with officials to learn more about what new public safety measures they are implementing this year. Bayon?
Jessica, good evening. Day one at this expo is coming to a close, but earlier there were thousands across the area here. Officials tell me that this year there are 1,500 exhibitors, and over the course of the next 3 days of this expo, over 100,000 people are expected to attend. However, with the recent health concerns across the world, public safety here has been ramping up. They have been implementing preventative measures against the coronavirus. They also said with the recent travel ban that vendors expected here at the expo from China are not allowed to attend.
There were 6 vendors that had to stay back because they were from China, and the World Ag Expo has been really wonderful in communicating with those folks and getting that taken care of.
The largest agricultural expo of its kind garners thousands from all over the world. In the midst of a coronavirus outbreak with 7 confirmed cases in California, the event has new public safety standards.
We have banners out in English, Spanish, and simple Chinese, making sure people know what the prevention efforts are.
Some of those efforts include placing hand sanitizing stations in several areas at the expo and having medical professionals on hand to screen and to treat participants who feel ill.
Right now, that is the safest thing for all attendees.
While officials are hoping to protect against the coronavirus, they say they want to provide an environment that welcomes the Asian population during these sensitive times. Alex Shin, a translator for a South Korean vendor at the expo, says that's something he appreciates because of what he had to deal with on his way to the expo.
I was in a flight from Austin to San Francisco yesterday, and I accidentally coughed. People started like moving away from me. They changed seats.
In addition to health safety, expo officials are ramping up security following the shooting at the Gilroy Garlic Festival last July that took 3 lives and injured 17 others.
We did need to look at what happened there and what lessons we could learn so we could be proactive about our approach to the show.
The expo now has full-body metal detectors at all entrances and several officers carrying long rifles in the case of a threat. Again, thousands more expected to show up here until Thursday, which is the end of the event. And public safety officials here tell me that if you see an issue and there's no security around, to just call 911. Dispatch will notify police here at the expo. But for now, live at the World Ag Expo, Bayon Wang, 23 ABC, connecting you.
The Board of Supervisors approving an ordinance earlier today that would permit the overseeing of hemp cultivation when it comes to research. A local hemp farmer says the ordinance is needed.
As a hemp farmer, I support the Department of Agriculture in this, and I just wanted to say that with the established research institutions, we need to rein it in a little more. We need to set regulations so they're not given the free rein that they have right now.
Officials from the Department of Agriculture say the concern was to get a handle on quote-unquote research institutions and research grows in Kern County. They added they had some entities that are not using proper use of the research authorization. Under current state law, research institutions are not required to obtain a permit to grow hemp for research, so the department wanted to put in registration fees to ensure growers abide by the program. According to the ordinance, officials also wanted to limit grows to 1 acre or less. It was unanimously approved by the board. A man who was accused of kidnapping, false imprisonment, and battery after posing as a rideshare driver appeared in court today. Nassef Regheb pleaded not guilty to those charges today. Bakersfield police arrested Regheb near 23rd and L Streets last week. The arrest came as the result of 3 related investigations over the past 3 years. A week from last Saturday, officers investigated a prowling incident at a residence in the area of Brimhall Road and Jewetta Avenue. A follow-up investigation led to the identification of Regheb as a suspect in that investigation. He's set to be back in court on February 24th. Meantime, a Ridgecrest man is facing felony child molestation and porn charges. According to court documents obtained by 23 ABC, the Central California Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force received several tips from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children regarding a person who was in possession of child pornography. Google contacted authorities after it located what they believed to be child porn uploaded to their servers. Following an investigation, authorities determined a video and numerous images were uploaded. 51-year-old Eric Wadeland was arrested and is facing 5 felony charges.
High pressure is in control across California. You can see clear skies was the story today with those dry conditions, and that trend is only going to continue. 66 degrees right now here in Bakersfield. That's up 6 from this time yesterday, and we are going to be feeling even warmer temperatures as we head into your Wednesday and Thursday. So strong winds were the story across the Kern County desert yesterday. Wind gusts reaching anywhere from 40 to 60 miles per hour, but you can see very calm conditions in those areas right now. We are going to be dipping right back down into the 50s here in Bakersfield by 8 p.m. down to 49 degrees by 10, but those overnight lows still going to be chilly in the upper 30s here in the valley. But I have more details on what you can expect for your Valentine's Day forecast coming up next.
Well, get your resumes ready and get ready to dress to impress because Job Fest 2020 is kicking off this week. The Kern County Department of Human Services recently announced the 2020 Job Fest series. It starts off this Thursday with a job fair in Lamont. The event is set to take place at the David Head Center on San Diego Street in Lamont from 9 a.m. until noon on Thursday. You are asked to bring copies of your resume and come dressed for employment opportunities. The Downtown Business Association and the Downtown Bakersfield Development Corporation is gearing up to host the State of the Downtown Breakfast this week. The theme of this year's breakfast is creating a clean, safe, and welcoming area for the heart of our city. The breakfast is set to take place from 7 until 9 a.m. Thursday at the Westchester Hall in downtown Bakersfield. Tickets are $70. To purchase them, head to our website, turnto23.com.